Hey, that's not fair. You didn't. Good morning.
Good morning.
So yesterday we were talking about how before the stream goes,
It's really quiet.
you guys
here.
have music that Seth put on there for you. We don't on this end. So it's just like, we should have music. So I turned up my phone
And then I went live.
I watch it on Facebook to be able to
Monitor.
watch comments that might come through. Usually don't, but might. And so I turned it up and he didn't tell me. So sorry about that interruption of music. But good morning. I'm Tammy.
I'm Seth.
He's the troublemaker.
And she's not.
We're the 4031 family, and we're really glad you are with us today. It's always kind of cool when we go to set up and we see that people are already like viewing, and we haven't even really set up to every place yet. But we really appreciate those of you. Good morning,
She's like, Stephen?
Good morning, sir.
Who's Stephen?
We really appreciate those of you who tune in every morning. Don't forget, things are going to change.
We will not be here
Friday. We won't be here next week. We won't be scheduled on a normal timing because we're going to be out of town at our expo to try to get our books
We'll try
into
to do
bookstores.
Something on the road, but I don't know what
But
it's
it will
gonna look
not
like.
be at 9:30 Central.
Or it might be. I mean, we don't know.
It might be, but I don't know.
But I doubt.
But the week after, starting the 18th, Seth's work schedule is pivoting, so we're going to have to pivot our time for these. It will probably be in the afternoon.
Or super early.
No, I'll be sleeping.
It'll be in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You want to do 5:30?
No. No.
We can do 5:30.
You can.
We could. Okay.
You can do a live while you're driving into work.
No.
No. So it'll be in the afternoon when he gets home from work. He's able to shift his schedule early so that he'll get home to me earlier, and we'll be able to do this. So, but it would be in the afternoon.
4:00 probably.
No more morning moments.
It'll be afternoon activities. Is that what you said yesterday?
Afternoon adventures.
Afternoon adventures.
Or something.
Hey, Scott. Hey, Scott.
Good morning, sir.
Thanks for following us on Rumble. Somebody's taking my advice.
I'm on Rumble.
I'm not talking about Rumble.
What are you talking about then?
I don't know. I'm not talking about anything.
Such judgment. What are you talking about? I married you. What better advice was there?
Certainly not the other advice you were getting at the time, but we won't go there. Just imagine.
Our kids are glad that we didn't listen to that advice.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
So am I.
Yeah, me too.
Aww.
Me too.
So it is today, August the 5th. It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. And so for those of you who were watching before we got really started, we're sorry about the little chat box that kept moving around on the side of the corner over here.
Yeah, because we were trying. Well, you can see it now.
It's really horribly squished.
And I was trying to fix that.
So we had to do that later when we're not live, because it got funky for some reason. I didn't pay attention to it yesterday to see when it got squished, but we will fix that. But sorry if you were watching the little bubble going around the screen.
Sorry.
It was for your entertainment.
It was not. But we do hope you were entertained.
Oh, so. Yeah. That'll be your fun for the day.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're really glad you're here. As Seth alluded to with Scott following us on Rumble, please make sure you go find us on all the other platforms. We're super close.
93 on Rumble, and we need to get to 100. So if you know anybody who doesn't have an account on Rumble or whatever.
Holly, here's a challenge for you. Let's push us to 100. I know it's Rumble, not Instagram, but go on Instagram and do your magic to get people to find us on Rumble.
We have to get to like 3 on Instagram first. I mean, I think it's...
Oh, Scott! What you doing?
I think there's only us on Instagram.
I don't even know.
And that's because Instagram's weird. Their lives, it's like you can't keep a live up. Because they're focused more on short form stuff, I guess. So
because our lives are too long.
Yeah.
So I think Holly said something about trying to make a reel out of our live. Like, I guess maybe take a snippet or something. I don't
do something.
Holly, we need to talk.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
You can call.
She is our social media expert on the...
Are you calling?
No, she's not calling
She
right
could
now.
be
She's
calling.
working.
Well, okay. That's
and listening to us
That's
sometimes. Depends on what her moment is, but I know she tunes in.
It's a morning moment.
I know sometimes she tunes in while she's working. So yeah, we do need to... I think it's something about making it reels that Instagram wants quick. And then those would be on the profile.
Yeah, but this goes back to the problem we had with daily devotions with Dad when we were doing it. It's just like suddenly now it's a job. Now it's not just cut out 30, like for this is cut out 30 minutes, sit down, throw up some lights and talk for 30 minutes, and we can do that.
We apparently can.
But the idea of now going back and rewatching it and picking out a 2-minute clip or something, it's just something to do. So
yeah, it's different. So
if
yeah,
one
we've
of us
got.
didn't have a job where they could work on something like that every day. I don't know.
I will take care of it.
Oh! What a great
pointed!
What a great
How
solution!
Pointed was that? We've got Rumble, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch.
And Buy Me a Coffee. We actually stream there too.
So I think that was 7.
Yeah.
So if you're on one, go find the others. They should be on the description. All the links to there. Pretty much it's whatever the platform is, the 4031 family. I think is our handle pretty much everywhere.
Except for
Twitch. Yeah.
Right.
You should fix that.
It's hard because I should fix that. There actually is a...
He gave me a job. I'll give him
There actually is the 4031 family on Twitch. And it's us. I just don't remember the login for that account. I don't know how that happened, that I created a whole separate account. But the one that's all hooked up and stuff with OBS and all that stuff is the He's God We're Not account. Which I rebranded with all 4031 family stuff at some point too. So I don't remember what... It's, whatever. Yeah.
Do we still have Not out there?
Yeah, that was
going to be the name of our family band, was Not, because He's God, we're
not.
Yeah, the kids didn't like that.
I thought it was great.
They didn't like that at all.
But I thought it was great. Anyway, so that's probably enough of
our musings,
our ruminatings.
Or whatever's.
You had a busy day yesterday driving all over creation.
Boy,
didn't you?
I did. It was fun though.
Yeah.
I mean, except for the traffic.
Except for the traffic.
Traffic's not fun in Texas. I don't like traffic.
It's funny. We had one son. It's not funny, but we had one son who moved away to the Northeast, and now we have another one.
And another son moved to.
To the Northeast, but not as far. The reason I mentioned the other son. Which one are you talking about? Anyway.
Well, we've got 2 sons out there.
I know, but I was talking about Benjamin. Were you talking about Daniel?
Well, I figured you were talking about Benjamin, but Daniel moved first.
Because I know, but I'm talking about map locations.
Daniel's proud of that.
Because now we have somebody looking to move to the Northwest about the same distance away.
Yeah, we were looking at the map, and I said, so we're here, and there's home, and there are the guys. And
yeah.
It's so funny. Everybody's kind of splintering.
Yeah, so... That'd be interesting if they move up to Alliance or far north Fort Worth.
You're looking at Hazlitt or Saginaw.
Yeah,
Saginaw's going to be more expensive, but Hazlitt was on the store side of the map of the freeway, and then Keller was on that side of the freeway. Gotcha. But that area. Just don't go to Trophy Club. That'll be really expensive.
Scott says Saginaw's nice. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's that loop. Like if we could get it to be north of 820, west of 35, that's where the job will be. So the commute from here to that area twice a day is a lot.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it's...
Especially because so this for Jillian's getting transferred to a Mardell out there. She's really excited about it. It's a great opportunity. I'm just like, wait, so when I get out at 5, I'm like, our traffic was bad yesterday at 2:30.
Yeah, you're not home probably till 6.
At least. It's already a almost 45-minute drive.
I mean, she could probably figure out back roads. Yeah, I mean, figuring out how maybe go north a little to get on 114 and come down 114 down 360.
Maybe.
or something. I don't know.
I'll look at it at 5 today and just kind of get an idea of where the best route would be.
Yeah.
But it's a great opportunity. She's very excited, but
it's going to be a commute.
The commute will be rough. So.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, it takes an hour to get home from Dallas. See, so you're not far from us. I know that from picking up your bride to take to our Bible studies. So Benjamin and Thomas and Seth obviously are working at ICR. That's why Benjamin's now over there, because he wanted to be closer to work. But they're at Royal and Luna.
Northwest Dallas. So it's about 30 minutes from here.
Yeah. Going in is not a problem. Coming home definitely gets long, and yeah.
Well, the advantage that I have, at least, and Benjamin might, and Thomas doesn't, unfortunately, is we can take our 8-hour schedule and sort of shift it.
Yeah, so you get to come and go before traffic.
Yeah, so instead of like an 8 to 5:30, I can work a 6 to 3:30 or whatever.
Yeah, Benjamin or Thomas will not be able to do that, but yeah. So traffic in the Metroplex, gotta love it.
Aren't you glad you tuned in? Walden Walker is very heavy this morning, and on the Zane curve, there's a delay. I'm sorry.
Scott's downtown. Yeah, so this is very different than South Carolina, right?
Oh, are they from South Carolina?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. Where in South Carolina?
We'll wait.
This is the hard part because there's a delay, obviously.
It's not too far bad.
My family, well, not my family. My uncle, see, that's...
Well, their family. It's Dad's family.
No, I know, but nobody...
Greenville, yeah. So his family was in Anderson.
No.
No?
No.
We got off in Anderson to go see them.
Yes, because they're in Greenwood.
Greenwood, yeah, right. That's different.
They were in Greenwood, and that's not my family. That was Aunt June's family. So it's his
aunt.
But my aunt, and her she grew up in Greenwood, and anyway, my dad went to Clemson, so he lived in Clemson and Anderson, in that area too for a while, and then I had one of my best friends, Mike, born in Anderson and stuff. So
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they're from South Carolina. His dad taught wrestling at Clemson.
Yeah, my memory specifically of Anderson, South Carolina, we were driving to see family in 2011. And I know it was that trip because we had a 1.5-year-old and a 9-month-old. And we were getting off the highway to go see our family in Greenwood. And we got off there at Anderson. And there was a gas station right there. We were going to get a drink and take a break because we were finally off the highway for a minute. And we came out to find
our water pump had blown.
Everything out underneath the van.
Yeah.
And again, 7 children.
Totally empty.
11
7
and
children under 11. Yeah, it was.
It was so broken. Just broken. So we went into the gas station and I'm just bawling, surprised. And I said, I need help. We're from Texas. Our van just died in your parking lot.
Somebody disemboweled our vehicle in your parking lot.
And the woman is just so sympathetic with me. And I said, I need to know who you would call. I said, I have 7 children and we're stranded. And there was a gentleman who had just opened his auto shop the day before.
He had just moved from Greenville, actually, down there to Anderson right there. And, so shout out to Jim Beam's Mobile One Auto Service.
Dude, seriously. They came out and she called him and they were out to us within 20 minutes and they verified we were okay to drive to the shop. So they followed us to the shop.
We have no coolant in the vehicle, but they're like, it'll be okay. Just drive it. I'm like, do you know Jim?
No. Oh my gosh.
Seriously?
So yeah, he had we pull in and he's got this big old, it was amazing because we come in with our 7 children and there was no one there because they had just opened the day before.
I know his work. He's well known in the area. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a big old stoplight in one of the side offices there and the kids were just loving it because it was as big as they were. But I was the evil one because we're stuck there. And I'm like, all right, kids, get out your laptops.
Right. They all pull their laptop. We put them to work.
They're sitting there doing their school in this little side office.
Yep.
It was so horrible.
That was the worst family vacation because we made everybody bring their laptops on vacation so they could get their schoolwork done.
Oh, so bad. But hey, they kept busy as I was tending to the babies. But like nobody was in the waiting room, and it's just so.
I mean, talk about an opportunity to take advantage of someone. That's the situation
right?
we
And
were
he
in.
didn't.
And he didn't. He was great.
He was amazing. So we drove. His aunt and uncle happened to be about 30 minutes further down the road. We stayed there. We were gonna get ready to leave that night, and the van. I don't remember what happened to it then. Something else was wrong. So we had to go back to his aunt and uncle's and back to Jim's the next day.
We did.
So anytime we were in the area, we would go by and see him.
Stop by and pop in. And
he saved us. Yeah, I mean, we were, as you said, we could have so been taken advantage of, but that's God working of saying, I'm going to plant you right here, right now. And I've got the person who's not going to take advantage of you. And that's so crazy that you know Jim. Yeah, that's cool. Just a great guy.
We tried to go by last time we drove through, and I think they were closed. Like we went
for the
through,
day, not because they hadn't closed down. But I remember we went by, I think in 13, and you went in to see him, and he remembered us. And see, it's that kind of guy that you need people like that.
Here we are 14 years later out of the thing, and we still know the guy's name. Yeah. We still know where he is. And you know. Yeah,
even when we drove out there for the wedding, when Daniel and Casey and we went to South Carolina at Gray's Lake. Not Gray's Lake.
Greenwood. Lake Greenwood.
No. Lake Gray.
Gray Court.
Yes, that one. There it is. We drove past him.
We did. That's when I was thinking, and they were closed. I think
that day. Yeah. But they're still there, and it's just those memories that God puts in your heart, and those people that He puts in your lives. You don't know when you're that person God's going to use to help somebody in a time of distress.
So if you're ever in Anderson and need a mechanic, Jim Beam's Mobile One.
Great people.
I don't remember the name of the road we got off on, but you went down.
Emily's cousin lives in Gray Court.
Oh,
that's actually where we got our dog.
Oh no!
What?
Do you think Emily is cousins to the Martins?
Doubtful. Lara and Bruce Martin are the people that we went to visit.
It's going to be.
It's good.
In 20 seconds, he's going to come back and go, we know Lara.
Well, and apparently Lara is a McNeil in her line, and I'm McNeil's in my line, so we're apparently related because all McNeils are related. So, yeah, it's just... okay. This has been a really weird morning.
This has been a weird morning.
So morning moments with Seth and Tammy and Scott.
So I put up the ICR thing. We should probably go ahead and do the devotion today.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, today's devotion we are using from the Institute for Creation Research, Days of Praise. Here you go. Sign up, get the stuff, get the thing, or just come see us and you can hear. Today's devotion is entitled The Lasting...
I knew you were going to have trouble with this.
Noahic.
Noahic, very good. There you go.
Noahic Covenant. From Noah.
I will turn this over to you.
I assume it was written by Dr. Morris, but he scrolled too fast for me to see. But saying Dr. Morris gets you away with a lot, it's Dr. Henry Morris. From Genesis 9:11. Hi.
Hi.
And I will establish my covenant with you. I'm good. I'm gonna kind of go do this now.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Me, your mom. I knew that was going to get her.
And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Look ahead. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. Genesis 9:11. See, this is kind of hard to read right now, given all the flooding. And it's not just, obviously, we here in Texas are still reeling from the flooding in Kerrville on July 4th. But at the same time as we were dealing with flooding here, we had people dealing with flooding in various places around the country. We had the horrible flooding at Christmas. Was it Christmas time? I don't remember. In Kentucky and Tennessee, where towns were wiped off the map.
Yep.
So it's really hard to hear those words in the back of your head that he says he'll never send a flood to wipe out the world again, when there are cities destroyed by flooding, flash flooding. The
But the point
crazy.
is not that there won't ever be a flood again. Obviously, it's that there won't ever be a capital flood again. Capital F.
Yeah,
a deluge.
I get that. But when families have been so devastated, personally, emotionally, just by witnessing it and watching it, it's hard to imagine the devastation that we watched happen live in Kerrville or in Kentucky and North Carolina and Tennessee, and it was more than that, obviously. Yeah. I mean, the flooding that God sent in the time of Noah destroyed everything save 8 people and some animals. Mm-hmm. It's just unfathomable.
Yep.
When God gave Noah this promise, the world had just been through the devastating cataclysm that flooded the entire globe and destroyed all except those on the ark. Their world was fearful and barren, and there seemed nothing to prevent another such flood from coming on the earth. Nevertheless, God's promise, not only to Noah but also to the animals, Genesis 9, 9, and 10, has been kept for over 4,000 years. God later reminded Job of this promise when he told him that he had shut up the sea with doors and said, "Hitherto shalt thou come, but no further, and here shall thy proud waves be stayed." That's Job 38, 8 and 11. I remember you reading that recently. The psalmist also referred to this covenant. When the whole earth had been covered with the deep as with a garment, the waters stood above the mountains. At thy rebuke they fled. Thou hast set a bound that may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth. That's Psalm 104, verses 6, 7, and 9. Good morning, Jillian, who should be working right now. God has kept his word, and there has never been another worldwide flood. Sadly, however, many modern compromising Christian theologians and scientists have said that the flood must have been only a local or regional flood in order to please the evolutionists, practically all of whom insist that the earth is 4.6 billion years old and never experienced any global flood. And this is where you find so much dissension, controversy in the Christian beliefs of whether or not it was a local flood or a global flood, whether or not it was a young earth of 6,000 years or an old earth of 4.6 billion years. Lots of mind bashing and discussions over that.
But the Bible's pretty clear. The language used to describe the flood is pretty clearly meant to convey a global catastrophic flood.
Yeah.
I mean, it repeats it like 3 times. Everything that had breath died. Everything that was on the earth died. The waters prevailed over the entire earth. I mean, the language is pretty clear that the author intended to convey a global flood.
Stupid question here.
No stupid questions. Just stupid askers.
You talk about the things on earth or in the waters. Would the birds would have died too, right?
Yeah, they had no
place to land. They would the air would have been different, right? If there's no plant life don't you need the plants to be given the carbon dioxide to let us breathe? So wouldn't animal life also need that? So truly, was it? I know I interrupted. It's a long John on question. I am, but wait for the 89th. Wouldn't it only?
Oh, yes.
Would it only have been then the people on the ark, and the people and the animals only in the ark? Like, how would they have survived with no plant life to have given?
Well, they took. So
many questions.
Most of the oxygen that we breathe comes from plants, and most of the plants responsible for the oxygen we breathe are ocean-bound plants, algae and things like that.
Okay.
Most of the air we breathe comes from algae and stuff like that, plants in the ocean.
How, when we're so far inland?
Because I'm not trying to be. Just because it's a gas, and so it
spreads.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, it you end up with. I mean, it's like when a pot boils, the steam dissipates because gases mingle and fill fill the space.
Okay.
Presumably, yes, all of the birds would have died. Again, remember, you've got nothing
to land on.
So most of the birds would be. I mean, it's one of those things. You just don't know how, for example, how violent the rain was.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and there would have been no shelter.
So we don't know. But the text of Scripture itself is pretty clear that everything that had in its nostrils the breath of life died.
And that would include your birds.
That would include your birds, yeah.
Okay.
Scott said it may have even been a more oxygen-rich atmosphere. Yeah, there's there's a lot of
because God would have also provided for that.
There are a lot of theories about that. You know, one of them being that a significantly enhanced oxygenated atmosphere, like you find in a hyperbaric chamber, for example, can prolong life. And so you look at the long ages of the patriarchs and such before the flood. Some people attribute it to that. I don't think that that's the cause beforehand, but I know, for example, Dr. Carl Baugh, in his envisioning of what things looked like before, like he has a museum down in Glen Rose, Texas, and like he sells prints of pictures of Noah and the ark and all stuff like that. And in his pictures, the sky is pink, not blue.
Oh, interesting.
And that's specifically because he thinks that it was a much denser, oxygen-rich atmosphere and would have refracted the light differently. Which he also would say that might account for there not being a rainbow beforehand, also, because there wasn't room for water vapor in the air.
Interesting.
To do that with light. So anyway, but this is one of those things. It's kind of an unknowable.
Right. Okay. Dr. Morris, is this the end? Yeah. Dr. Morris concludes, if that were true, however, then God has broken his promise.
Back up.
I have to back up.
Yeah, the point being that people, it is true that no one has ever witnessed a flood that covers the entire earth. It's also true that, the earth we have today, it would be very difficult to have water cover all of it because of the topography and mountain ranges and things like that. And so geologists, long age people will say that, for example, mountains take a long time to form. It's plate tectonics. It's slowly plates coming together slowly, buckling mountains and things like that. But that's an assumption. It's an extrapolation of processes we observe today, and pushing them back into the distant past. That's what we've talked about before. It's called uniformitarianism. We see tectonic plates moving at a rate of centimeters a year today, and so we assume that's the rate at which they've always moved. However, in a flood model, you have catastrophic plate tectonics going on at the time. For example, the Bible says that all of the mountains of the earth were covered to a depth of 15 cubits. Well, that would mean that if Mount Everest, for example, was there, that the water would have to cover Everest to a depth of 15 cubits.
But Everest wasn't there then.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Right. That's the point. That the pre-flood topography was very different than the post-flood topography. And that may, in fact, be one of the ways that God made this promise to be. It may be one of the things God did in order to make this promise. By providing highlands, no matter how much water there would always be someplace to go.
Right.
It's been said, I think, that if all of the earth was smoothed out, if all of the mountains were smoothed out, and if everything was brought to sort of a uniform level, there's enough water on the earth to cover all of the land to a depth of like 3 miles or something that. So,
because the oceans are deep.
The oceans are very deep. Yeah. And so if you bring that up, if you do that, you do this, you bring the mountains down and the oceans up, and some people would say that's undoing the effects of the flood. That what we see today is a result of the flood. If you undo that, then you have a much smoother earth, much shallower seas, and one of the things that the Bible talks about is the fountains of the great deep bursting forth. So the pre-flood earth probably had less water in its oceans than we have now. There was additional water that seems to have been coming subterranean, and this has been found recently. They have found very, very far down in the mantle, they have found some interesting water-bearing rocks that we didn't know existed. There seems to even today to be quite a significant amount of subterranean water, and that's one of those things that seems to have been added at the flood in the fountains of the great deep. Yeah. So it's all about, when you're dealing with things, it's all about your presuppositions. If your presupposition is that we're smarter than a bunch of ancient Near Eastern sheep herders, and so we can figure out what happened without having been an eyewitness, then you're going to go with all of those presuppositions. If your presupposition is we are not smarter than the Holy Spirit, who inspired writers, who cares where they were, to write down accurate depictions of what they were eyewitnesses to, and God himself was an eyewitness to, then you have to look at the evidence and look at the things and go, is it possible? Not is it scientifically plausible, because there are things called miracles, right? And if we're dealing with God, then we're dealing with someone who can
do what he wants,
yeah. Right? And is there anything inconsistent with an understanding of these things from a biblical point of view? Now, people will look and say, well, look at mountains. Mountains don't form over, a year, which is how much time you have in the flood. And that's true. We don't see them forming over a year. Does that mean that they can't? No. Is there something that's consistent in mountains that you can look to and say, well, maybe it is a short period of time? Sure. Go outside, pick up a rock, and bend it in half without making it snap. Well, you can't.
Yeah.
Right? Because rock is brittle, but mountains are typically made of sedimentary rocks, right? And they fold like this
without breaking
in many places. And they're fully rock, they're fully lithified now, they're stone now. You can't unfold that without it snapping. But that's a picture of
God's power.
No. It's a picture of yes, but it's the implication about folded sedimentary layers is that they were folded when they were still soft. Okay, so it didn't take millions of years to collapse a sedimentary layer into a fold. Stuff was going on while that stuff was being deposited, and it got folded while it was still soft, and then subsequently dried out. So that makes the things that we see completely consistent with a I say supernatural. I don't mean supernatural, but with a God explanation, because God is not supernatural. God is the author of all nature, and He's above it. But supernatural has a connotation that is
extraordinary.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, the ability, the desire for Christians to compromise so that they don't appear foolish, unfortunately, in the eyes of scientists who think they have figured out that God was wrong. I mean, when you put it that way, I don't want to stand before God and say I spent my life defending people who don't believe in you and telling people that what you said wasn't true.
Right.
That's a hard position to take.
Yeah.
I would much rather
defend God even when no one's listening.
I would much rather be on the other side of that, right? And then because then you're in the position, this kind of Pascal's wager, not exactly, but if I'm right and I spend my life defending God and the description and the explanations that God gives in His Word about how things came to be, I think that's a position that God will honor. He says in Psalms 137, "I've magnified my word above all my name." If I take His word to be true and I use it to determine how things came to be by looking around and comparing it with His word, that's not a position I need to be ashamed of, right? However, if I'm wrong, and and the Bible is a collection of, oral tradition myths by ancient Near Eastern sheepherders, 4,000 years ago, well, then I don't have to worry about defending against anybody, to anybody. So what do I lose? I might lose the respect of scientists who don't love,
who don't know you,
who don't know me, and don't know God. But what do I care about them?
Right.
I mean, I care about them and their salvation. Obviously, I want everybody, just like God wants everybody to come to the knowledge of Himself, of Him. But yeah, sorry, that was a bit of a rant.
We do that well. Dr. Morris continues, if that were not true, however, if that were true, however, then God has broken His promise.
In other words, sorry.
That's okay.
In other words,
trying to get beyond that paragraph.
Well, I know, but we haven't talked about this portion.
We're so out of time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Continuing to interrupt me doesn't hurt.
Wow. Okay. Go ahead.
If the flood in Noah's time was a local flood, and if God said, I'll never do that again, we've had local floods like you referred to, and therefore God would be lying.
There have been numerous local floods and regional floods in the world since Noah's day, said Dr. Morris. But God has kept His promise. The flood indeed was a unique cataclysm in which the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. That's 2 Peter 3:6. And such a flood has never occurred again.
Correct.
And from what we read in the Bible, it will not occur again.
Correct. Right. Next time, it's fire.
Not exactly comforting at the moment, but yeah.
Yeah.
Next time. Because there will be a next time.
It'll be a last time.
That He'll say, yeah, I'm done.
Yep. Anyway, we went long. Thanks for sticking around with us.
Yeah. We hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. It's going to be a busy day.
It is going to be a busy day.
But that's all right. Keeps me out of trouble. So, have a great day. If there's anything we can pray over with you, please feel free to drop a comment of pray for me. If you wish to do it more personally and you don't want it public, you can send an email to pray-with-me@the4031family.com or Seth or Tammy @the4031family.com.
I just had an idea. Vamp a little bit.
Again, we can also, we would love it if you would share across the platforms just as a way to help get our numbers up so we can get into a little bit more of the creator content opportunities on the different platforms. And that way we can just get God's stuff out there more and, have a laugh or two at our expense. So
Hey.
Have a great day.
Indeed
and
so.
We will see you tomorrow morning.
9:30 a.m.
9:30. Until then, on behalf of the 4031 family.
We are not on TikTok.
Did I say we were on TikTok?
No. Scott just asked if we're on TikTok.
No.
We should be.
I don't know.
Maybe we shouldn't be.
There's so much talk about whether or not the U.S. is buying TikTok. I don't know. It's weird.
We'll talk about it.
Who knows? Maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, just asking. We'll let you know. We haven't even thought about it. So we'll figure that out. Have a great day. Until tomorrow, he's Seth.
She's Tammy.
Yeah, we are. Remember, he's God.
We're not.
Have a great day.
Bye.